Welcome to Meet the Artist. I'm your host, Teresa Nguyen, and today we have the very talented David Ryan with us in the studio. Thank you for being here, David.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Let's go way back. So when you were younger, who first noticed your skills, like boosted your confidence?
Oh, that'd probably be my mom.
Yeah?
I'm one of 8 kids, and she praised all of our work. So I think she was biased. But that was the last time I was really producing much art in grade school classes. So,
Did you have a favorite piece?
Gosh, it was finger paints and crayons and stuff like that.
Way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So have you studied art in your...
I've studied art history, but not studio art until I started painting about 5 years ago, and I took a lesson, and that's what got me started.
That's awesome. So most artists dabble in all kinds of art. What's your favorite medium?
Well, I started with acrylics. That was the 2-day lesson that I took was in acrylics, and but along the way I've tried oil pastels, and most recently I was always a little bit intimidated by oils, but I've been doing oils for the last 6 months or so.
Wow. Wow, expanding.
Yeah.
So you brought some pieces with you. Let's talk about those. This is absolutely gorgeous. And tell us about it, the mediums, and how long it took you to create.
That was, I brought that because it was the very first painting I ever did in that class, that 2-day class. So this is acrylic, and it's from a photograph from a trip that I took with my wife, and it's a better painting than I would have done by myself. That kind of shows what you can do when you're being watched by a teacher and getting suggestions and tips. So
learning technique.
Yes.
Yeah. So this location holds a special meaning for you. I love your use of light, and variety of color that you put in here, and even in the different hues of green.
That was the help from the teacher.
That's beautiful. And then what else did you bring with you?
This one was from northern Michigan, northern lower peninsula of Michigan on Lake Michigan, a favorite place that our family's been going to for probably 40 years. And nice. I have brought my paints the last 4 or 5 years, trying to capture the essence of the place. And this one I did last year, and I think it came the closest to kind of capturing the light and the
it's beautiful, and the shadows and the clouds. Do you typically like to use photos, or do you set up an easel ever?
I have set up outdoor easel, but only on the porch. I don't venture out into nature because I'm so disorganized. I don't know where I'd put all the stuff, so I have to stay close to home and the studio.
Yeah, I see. So what inspired you to create this one here?
Well, that's a hill that's right on I-90 as you're coming south from Madison. It's on the right, and I had been admiring that hill, the hayfield with the oak grove in the back for decades, and it's hard to go past at 70 miles an hour and get a good photograph of it.
True.
But finally
you got one.
Yeah, and then decided to paint it.
That's awesome. So in your years of creating art, this is kind of a goofy question. What has been the most unusual or unique tool that you've used? Like, I know an artist who has used saran wrap just to create interesting lines, or...
Yeah, I used like crumpled up wax paper, dip it in the paint, and put it on the painting to see what the pattern is. And I kind of stick mostly to just brushes. I haven't had much luck with alternative.
Still experimenting?
Yeah. I will branch out once I know how to use the brushes, so I gotta figure those out first.
You're funny. Now here's a silly question. If you could eat a piece of edible art, what would it be?
You mean like a representation of?
Actually eat something that is art.
Well, it'd probably be a lush landscape.
You'd eat the lush landscape.
Yeah. I mean, I almost, when I see a beautiful landscape, either in real or in a really good painting, I want to be in it and get in it and almost eat it. So
that's your motivation, inspiration is the natural world.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, what advice would you give to an aspiring artist, say, who just needs that bit of a push?
Well, I think the best thing is to take a class or lessons, and probably an in-person class rather than an online class. I've tried a couple just online tutorials, and but it's nice to get the immediate feedback from a teacher. That's
so true. You can learn things that you didn't understand before or realize.
Yeah.
So have you done an exhibit in the past?
No, this is the first.
Yay!
I've exhibited on my walls at home, but this is the first one outside.
Sure, that's really exciting. How did you end up choosing your pieces for Hedberg Public Library? Because this is it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well, I have lots of paintings, but really only about 10 or 15 that I would want to display. So that made it pretty easy. Just clear away the chaff and bring the wheat.
Yeah. And have you sold your pieces, or are you in the business of doing that? Or?
No, I haven't. I haven't really considered that yet. Because I'm not especially prolific, and B, because I'm still learning. I'm still gaining skills. So maybe someday.
Sure, I think you should.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we will get to see your work exhibited at Hedberg throughout the month of August, and that will be at on the art wall up in the Hedberg Public Library. Very exciting. Are you excited for this?
Very excited. Yeah, this is a big step for me, and it's very fun.
Very good. Well, that's all the time we have for now. Thank you for joining us. And remember, don't put it off for another day. Go out and make some wild, whimsical, wonderful art. I'm your host, Teresa Nguyen. Until next time on Meet the Artist.